I've talked so much about how nice it is for you as a business owner and an educator to have access to a centralized database or a data set, a source of truth for all of your information. But how can Fluent CRM data enhance student engagement? How can this be good for the students and better for their growth? Hello. I'm Michael Johal, and I want to talk about how you can optimize student growth using these CRM tools. We're going to look at using historical data that you can find because you have been tracking your students for a long time and how you can use that to elevate their experience. The first thing that you'll want to do is analyze past interactions to pinpoint where engagement matters. So analyze the steps that you're using when working with students. It's important to help them understand the necessity of SMART goals, which means that they're manageable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. And so these are very clear and specific goals, right? So make them specific, make them manageable, make sure that they're achievable, and make sure they're relevant to the task at hand, and then time bound them. As soon as you time bound them, you can take them and automate the check-in time so that you know when's a good time to check in. It's a lot for one person to remember, like holding on to all of that stuff. It's too hard. But if you can let your CRM tools remind you to check in on Jonathan, and 2 weeks after you've given him an assignment, you can see how it's going. And this will allow you to remain strategic. So a plan is something that you write down and it either comes to fruition or it doesn't. But strategy is what you do to remain dynamic on the ground so that you can be resilient. And CRMs give you a plan, but then they allow you to strategize because you don't have to think about the planning. It does that for you. You can be dynamic instead. And I think that's where creatives excel. Anyway, this is so good for students, right? Because it shows them a path to success and it makes them understand that you're invested. You don't have to remember all of this. You can't. I mean, I can't, but you can still get the work done, and you can do it without a team or a big one anyway. And so once you have these core processes fleshed out, okay, I'm going to give a piece of advice. I'm going to check in 2 weeks. I'm going to automate the process to remind me. I can even send an email to them or text them. Well, then you can start putting together these workflows and just make it so easy by flipping a little switch inside, by putting a tag on it. And you can monitor the metrics that arise from it, before and after. You're going to see that retention and rates go up, and that will impact your revenue, which means that you're serving your students better, they're sticking around longer, and you're more impactful. And this allows you to continue to elevate your own work so that you can become your very best educator and business owner. And this means allowing yourself freedom by systematically using the software to align your activities with your overarching objectives, which can drive meaningful growth in your student engagement. Okay,